Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it. You already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict, right? And as you can tell by today's thumbnail, yes indeedy, I'm going to write graffiti on the bus. Indubitably, we're going to get straight to it. As you can tell by that thumbnail, we're talking about California and the three prominent groups of Chicanos and Califas, right, in California, from the 209 on back up, from the 91 sickness back on up to the 213, man. We're going to get straight to it. And in that fashion, right, in a menudo style, a direct fashion, we're talking about sureños, norteños, and perros. Oh my, right? The three prominent groups. And there's a lot of Chicanos out there and a lot of different gangs. We got Brown Priders, Border Brothers out of Oakland. Of course, you got the MS. You got just a whole bunch of different groups. But the three standouts, the three prominent groups, the three groups that have been doing it for several decades, many moons, homes, are the norteños, the sureños, and the dogs. Oh my, follow the yellow brick road. These vatos have been following the yellow brick road to Emerald City, and they're almost there, vatos. ¿Sabes qué? Over the years, there's been a lot of turmoil. There's been a lot of bumps in the road. There's been a lot of rocks and sticks in the spokes. But at the same time, these guys never stopped chugging along, man. They kept the pushing, right? Low riding. They got there how they get there, man. That is what it is. And we're going to put it out there. So, and these are in no particular order. So nobody get their fucking calzones in a bunch and think, hey, I'm trying to put one group over the other. Because at the same time, in the meantime, in between time, what the gun is doing is I'm just simply stating all three of these groups, these organizations, these representatives of their groups need to be respected, need to be adhered to, and need to get shown some love, man. And I'm putting it out there for the people that don't really know. I know a lot of you that are watching this channel already know what time it is. But for those of you that don't, bang, bang, here it is. And in that fashion. The norteños. And I'm going to speak on this group first because I was once part of this group. And call it what you want. You know, call it dropout, call it non-active, call it fucking no longer with the business. Call it what you want. At the end of the day and at the same time, man, the norteños, okay? A group that has my utmost respect. I'm always going to have that burning desire, that flame in my heart, that love for this group. Okay, what this particular group, the norteños, mean to me? It meant historia. It meant history. It meant love. It meant righteousness. It meant canalismo, right? And it still means all that. I still got love for a lot of norteños. I still got a lot of homeboys that are active in the function. They're with the business. I still got a lot of homeboys that ain't with the business. But at the same time, man, you can never take them and their history from them. You can never take what they were from the streets. It just is what it is. Simply stated and put it what it is, right? Because that's what it was. So Trip, the norteños. Okay, we all know the history. If you don't, here's a quick summary, a quick rundown. They started in the late 70s, okay? They started as soldados for a big organization that I'm not going to no longer speak on because I got to respect their things, respect their get down. But at the same time, I will say the norteño soldados, these soldiers out there were strong, vicious army, okay? Every group faction, every gang, every hood, every barrio is derived, especially when it comes to Chicanoism, when it comes to Chicanismo, it comes to the Latin people, is derived from oppression, is derived from not getting our just due, not getting our social status of equality, not being looked at as equal to everyone. And I know every different group, and I'm talking about the Africanos, the Gabas, everybody is persecuted or oppressed in some certain way by some certain people. But at the same time, I'm talking about the norteños here. Being from a more rural area in Northern California, our cities were spread out. You know, spread out. They're not like down south in LA in that area that are congested, that are very close together where you have barrio after barrio, barrio for barrio, barrio for barrio, body for body. You know what I mean? You don't have that. You have stretched out cities like Merced, Modesto, Sacramento, Stockton, Frisco, the Bay Area stand up, Oakland, all the way down to Tulare County on back to the border. You know what it is? The cities are very stretched out. So every homeboy, every norteño had a little bit different stilo, had a little bit different style, a little bit different flecha to their game. Okay. But all norteños moved as one unit. When you got incarcerated, everybody came together and greater minds prevailed. You know, we were all on that same wavelength. It was nothing but canalismo and embracement. Of course, I'm talking about pre-97, before it got a little bit more structured and homeboys started falling into the whole get down with household policies and things of that nature, which I'm not mad at. But I will say that pre-97, it was a lovely thing. It was a lovely thing to be a norteño and to be a soldado and strive for what your true belief was, right? My true belief at that time was unity of the people, getting to know homeboys that were of like-mindedness, that thought the same way I did, and we had a certain goal to achieve. Now, our goal at that time as a youngster, and the way I was indoctrinated, educated, was to get social status of equality, basically to be treated the same, and to eradicate any opposition that posed a threat to what we were trying to push. Of course, to go establish yardas, to go establish, and let it be known that the norteños were not a force to be reckoned with, and we were going to be where we were at. Okay, our flag, that's, what is it? That's a flag right there. What does it say? Puto, you're waving the white flag, chale, it says norte. We were there. Okay, we weren't going nowhere, Soms. La primera, and in that fashion. And I was a true believer. And I'm still a true believer to their cause, somewhat. You know, I'm a true believer in a norteño raised is a norteño that does, you know. If you're raised a certain way, man, we had a certain stilo about us. We had certain beliefs, a certain belief system that was instilled at a young age. You know, norteños weren't made, they were born. They were born every day. You were just what you were, man. If you were from down south and you lived down there, well, then more than likely, man, being a Chicano at that time in the early 80s, late 90s, all the way into that area, you were probably going to be a sureño. But being up north, you were already labeled a norteño. You might as well rock with it. Pull a Glock with it. Do what you had to do to make it happen for your people. Okay, strive together in unity. And we chose to do that. Now, of course, over the years, there was a lot of inner conflict, a lot of inner turmoil, and norteños did do a lot of red on red. There was a lot of fighting, and there's always going to be that. Certain hoods feel that they're better than other hoods. Certain homeboys feel they're better than other homeboys. That's what happens on the streets. That's called street gang warfare. That's street play, homes. Hey, this is just skitty gangs, homie. Well, eat it, eat it. It gets real sometimes. You know, actually, it gets real all the time. But the norteños strive, and their struggle has always been united and is a united front, man. True belief. You have to stick with what homeboys you have. The homeboys are very thin. The norteños, there's not a lot of them. If you hit a yard in the California Department of Corrections, they're always the minority group, man. So they have to struggle just that much further to get a little bit further than others, man. That's just how it's always been. And I got a lot of respect for the group because over the years, it's endured its hardships. You know, I endured a lot of them as a youngster, man. There was many a times I tried to pray, right? I was like, damn, bro, when's this shit gonna stop? You know, when these hardships and these struggles gonna stop? I ain't getting visitas, I ain't getting cantina, you know what I mean? There's barely any homeboys. But guess what, man? At the end of the day, when I laid my head on that pillow and I put my head to rest, lay your head on my pillow. Orale, Tony Tone out of Oakland. When I was laying my head on that pillow, man, I was proud to call myself a norteño. I was proud of the beliefs that I had, and I was proud of the indoctrination I got and the education I got from several individuals that were about their business. They let me know that being a true believer to my cause and being a true believer as a norteño, man, was the only path I had. Okay? Now, maybe some of you sitting there right now and you're like, no, stupid, you could have been a doctor, right? So I was a doctor, Holmes. I had a PhD in GAME. You know what I mean? That's just what it was. I was raised and indoctrinated and taught the streets. So that's what I knew. And Sasuke, I mastered the game. It got me a doctorate, and that's what it was. But as far as the norteño group faction, very dangerous, very treacherous, very vicious. No disrespect. I totally respect the group. I respect the organization now. I respect the group now. I respect the way the Norte ran. I remember when they first told me what Norte meant, Northern Organized Raza to Eternity, man. And we were just that. We were organized. We were a raza way. That was the key word there. And to eternity. The Norte will never stop. The flame will never burn out. Sasuke, this ain't a birthday. You can't blow that candle out. It's one of those fucking candles that keeps on sparkling even after you blow it. The Norte is not going away. You know, and that group as a whole, as an army, is what Califas needs. There has to be a parity there. You know, there has to be a front, you know, north and south. Everyone has to hold it down for their issue, because not only I'm talking about norteños versus sureños and vice versa, tit for tat. I'm talking about with every different group and every different race and every different people that are trying to oppress the northern Mexican, the northern Chicano, the northern Latino, or the northerner, period. You know, so the norteños got a lot of respect in my book. Like I said, it's a cause that I truly love. It's a cause that I truly was with. And I'm always going to be forever grateful and forever indebted to a lot of things that I was taught. Because a lot of the things I was taught as a norteño soldado, I still utilize to this day. It's made me what I am. And I'm going to continue to struggle and strive for what I believe in, which is the unity of all raza. But the norteños, a very vicious, prominent group, man. If you don't know the historia, Wikipedia, Google it. You can find out, man. And I can say they're not to be slept on in Northern Califas, all the way, man, from Tulare County on back, Delano on back, to be exact. They're handling their business, man, and they're a group not to be fucked with. You better adhere to what I'm saying because the gun's telling you some business. Second group, Fresno Bulldogs, or Bulldogs in general. Right? The perros. Respect. The ultimate level of respect I have for these individuals, and I've told you guys over time, reason being, they were the enemiga. Okay, when I first met them, though, they were homeboys. They were norteños. They're actually derived from a norteño faction. They were actually struggling and striving right beside us. So there was no difference. It wasn't like, hey, you're Fresno Bulldogs, you're different from us. Charlie, they were just a gang, the Fresno Bulldogs, and they had several different cliques. You know, you had Caliber, you had Bond Street, you had College, you had RTLs, you had fucking Lewis Street, you had Chandler Boys, Pleasant Street in the north side, Parkside Bulldogs. All these different perros, right? But they were norteños. They were struggling, striving side by side. We were walking black and brown and... Wait up, you guys aren't black, it doesn't matter. We're rocking like that. The unity was real, okay? And then somewhere along the line, a couple individuals that were in the pinta, that were big homies, that were doing their thing, got the game twisted. They decided that for another reason, they should go solo bolo like a sideways leaning cholo. They didn't drink their V8 that morning, and the wind was blowing that way. So that's the way they went, okay? And at first I was mad. I was hot, I was heated, it was hostile in the situation, right? Because I was like, damn, bro. Two reasons. One, fuck, a lot of these homeboys, man, I got love for, man. What am I to do now? Who can I run to? Right? These were my homeboys. I was trying to escape and escape. It was all good. And two, because I knew we were losing real soldados. I knew we were losing some savages, some beasts, some motherfucking gangsters in the streets, some gangsters in the pinta, some gangsters in juvenile hall. It didn't matter where you were at. The Bulldogs were fun. They were active and they functioned. They still continue to this day a little bit differently, but they did it, you know? And so I learned to come to gain a level of respect for them, bar none, surpassing a lot of people that I have respect for. Now, I respect all group factions, all group segments, all people, period. That's the way I was raised, to respect everybody. But this group was just a little bit further than others. They were just a little bit vicious, and you got to sit back and think, okay, a group like the Fresno Bulldogs, who are very deep, they're probably second, third, and that's just the way the Bulldogs strive. They're down to bite you. You know what I mean? Got you wherever I want you, and now we're going to eat you. It's just the way it is. But I got a lot of respect and a lot of love for the Fresno Bulldogs. Okay? And it's not, I say Fresno Bulldogs, but it's not just Fresno. Okay? That's one city. Very dangerous, grimy city. They'll take your flux capacitor, but at the same time, while you're sitting here not going back to the future yet, Marty, great Scots. I'll tell you this, there's a Bulldogs from everywhere. You know, I met Bulldogs from Kings County, Merced County, oh my, right? Stanislaus County, all the way up to Sacramento, San Jose. Yes, indeedy, man, I don't care what you say. I'm going to write some graffiti on the bus and tell you that the Bulldogs are everywhere. You know, they might not be out there, you know, like that, but there's perros. You know, and they're a group faction, they're a group segment within California that you can't sleep on, that you have to respect. You have to give them their just due because they properly deserve that. They've been doing it. Shit, man. Hey, don't stop. The body rock till the eyesight stop to get hazy. I said, Perro's been doing it. You know, and that's why even now I communicate with a lot of them. I have a lot of respect for them. They have a lot of respect for the gun. Bang, bang, man, noodle. Reason being is that I show them nothing but the utmost love and respect. There's no reason to denigrate their name. There's no reason to put derogatory statements or derogatory terms on their names. Now, I had my beefs with them. I struggled and I strived side by side, and I fought, man, I threw a motherfucker through a window before. So I was scared, right? And they fucking battery packed me. I've been stabbed by Bulldogs. But I never lost that level of respect. I hated them up to that one point in time. I was like, fuck these better, right? But I never disrespected them. I never called them out of their names. I always knew they were about the business and they were down to handle the business like that. You know, anyone that's ever did time or been around Fresno Bulldogs or Bulldogs period will let you know. So they bite. They're not the ones to be played with. If anything, you need to watch your back. If you got time to do that, because in most cases, they'll just get off where they're mad at. They take flight. With them, it's EBK all day to the day they die, right? They're everybody killers. They're against everybody. They don't get along with norteños. They definitely don't get along with sureños, and they don't get along with anybody. Oh my. Oh boy. They're down to put their shit down, put the mag down if they have to. And that's just what it is. They put the mag down. We're over here putting the clickety clack down. So combined, you know you're in trouble. And that's just how it's always went. So when the Bulldogs split from the norteños, man, that was a big loss for the northern faction. But at the same time, man, wasn't no one... So it was what it was, right? Norteños were over here like, fuck it, hey, vamos la primera, what you want to do, puto? And the others were like, bite you, you know? And so the beef has been ongoing. and every place is different. Like I said in some of my spills about CYA, down south, of course, they broke off from us and the Bulldogs were doing their own thing and we were, going back and forth. Like I said, I was stabbed. There was plenty of incidences, one-on-ones, little melees. And then going up north, of course, in Preston, where I had the cheston, doing my burpees and push-ups, oh my. Shit was going down too. And then I get to Carl Holton and it's totally different. The Bulldogs are rocking with us. It's all love and respect for the time being. And then Southgate, more guys came that were indoctrinated up on game on the Bulldog mission and what they were trying to accomplish. And then they broke off from us. But even then, that was a program in place, man. Wasn't no one trying to do anything. So Southgate, at the end, boo-boo, we were all trying to chill and just go home. And that's what we did. But there was a respect. And respect is the key word when it comes to Califas and it comes to the different group factions, especially of Chicanos here, because there's a lot of different gangs in Califas. You got the Asians, Shout out to MOD True Blue, Oriental Ruthless Boys, ABs, ABZ. All the different Asians, OT. I've spoken on a lot of them, man. They're just real righteous. And then you got the Africanos, the Crips, the Bloods, the Bay Area. Yay. You got the Bay. And it's nothing but respect and the Woods, man. You got to give the love to the Woods, man, that have been holding it down for their crown for a long time, putting it down. Different groups. But when I talk about the Chicanos, I'm talking about groups like Norte, the Bulldogs, right? And the Bulldogs have always been in the mix. Now, of course, when this was first implemented and everybody was split, people didn't know how to act. I did a video one time how I said the Bulldogs actually kind of clicked up with the Southsiders or the Sureños. And at that time, what was happening is it wasn't, I'm going to retract my statement. It wasn't a click thing. They didn't click up. There was just a red light on the Bulldogs at that time, meaning the Sureños were like, let them do their thing with the Norteños. And they're getting off with each other. So that's kill two birds with one stone, right? It's kind of hard when one's a weather bird, but it was what it was. And that was it. So that's where I was wrong there. It wasn't, but in some places in CYA, yes, they did click up. There were certain groups that clicked up because, man, we had the numbers in some places and they had numbers in some places. And Bulldogs was just trying to get in where they fit in. And so that's how that went down. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, man. The Bulldogs garner a level of respect, bar none, like I said, like no other. To be putting it down for that many years and have that many adversaries, South Skid, they can't go nowhere. We used to call Fresno Gilligan's Island. They're on Gilligan's Island. Look, really, they weren't on Gilligan's Island. We were on islands, homes. They were doing whatever they wanted to do, moving however they wanted to move, I ran into Bulldogs in my own city. They moved fast with a purpose. They were out there hustling. Of course, bad things happened to them if we caught them slipping and vice versa, They're quick to get off. We were quick to get off. Shots were being fired. Bang, bang. But that's the second group I wanted to talk about, the Fresno Bulldogs or Bulldogs in general. Give them their level of respect. Give them their love. Because at the end of the day, man, bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee, what the fuck around? I'm rip off your left nut. Bang, right? Third group. And, bro, elephant in the room. We don't need to say too much about this group, but we will. Southsiders, Sureños, right? Call them what you want to. I know there's different levels to the shit, different levels to the game. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice when I talk about those. That's how extensive it gets. Respect. The utmost respect. And I'm going to tell you, Sureños got a lot of love from the gun. Okay, and I get a lot of love back. And I'm going to tell you why. There's a level there of knowing. I've been told my whole life, hey, you carry yourself like a Southsider, like a Sureño, the way you dress, the way you act, your stilo. Nah, it's never been that. What it's always been is love. You got to understand, as a youngster, that's the way I was raised. That's the way I was indoctrinated. That's the way I was taught. I was a Chicano and I'm a Chicano and a true believer in that stilo. And the Sureños are the predominant group of that style that I love so much, that Chicanismo, that Chicano style. The big motherfucking bands, dum, 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 dum. The Cortezes, the Hush Puppies, I was getting the Stacy's, ugum, ugum, ugum. The fedoras, them paños on the head, them camisas that are, all that, man. This is what I loved. This is what I respected. This is the way I was taught, being a youngster and being locked up and going down south, man. I didn't have nothing else to really look at. We were young Norteños striving, just trying to fucking stay above water, afloat, do our thing. And here come the Sureños, man. And I really like their style. I like the way the fucking tramas were creased up. I like to get down. This is what I modeled my style after. Okay? Not saying I was trying to be a wannabe or be anything like them, man. I knew what I was and what I am. But at the end of the day, man, I respected their get down and I just like the stilo. You can't be mad at a motherfucker for liking what he likes. I just like to get down. And they're innovators. They're innovators, and this was their thing. This is what they started. There's no denying it, and you have to respect that. Now, the Sureño cause and their belief system is theirs and theirs only. What they believe in, I'm not going to sit here and tell you about their reglas or their rules and regulations or how they get down in prison, because you all should know. If you've been incarcerated or you haven't, like I said, Wikipedia, but if you have, then you already know. They're the predominant group, the largest group, the deepest group. Doesn't matter what yard you go to, they're always going to be the deepest, and they do their thing. Like I said, without getting too deep into their fucking faction and their rules and regulations, because that's not in my business and nothing I'm going to put out here, I will say that they're a very vicious group. They're not no one to be fucked with, and they hold it down for their side. Now, the difference with norteños and sureños and being indoctrinated the way I was we always knew about southsiders and sureños because we have them up north called upstate sureños. Now, at that time, they weren't called that. They were just sureños, and we were all getting off where we were mad at, and things happened. So we were always told this was the enemiga. These were the ones that we were facing. Of course, you had your own little infighting within cities. Like I said, a lot of red on red was cracking, but you always knew right off the top, right off the bing bong, the sureños were the ones that you had to fucking look out for. They were the ones we were going after, and vice versa. That's just the way it was. Now, the sureños from down south, where it started, you know what I mean? From the ruta to the tuta, where the shit started, was different. Okay? These, I'm not gonna disrespect the Sureños of the North and say they weren't real, right? But I'm saying that these this is where the foundation, homes. This was the stronghold. This was where it really started, down south, L.A., San Bernardino, San Diego. You know what I mean? The Valle. All that is where the shit started, and they were different, bro. Their stilo and the way they fought amongst each other and for barrio warfare, there was barrio from barrio, was different. They didn't even know about norteños. They weren't focused on us. Husky, you ain't fucking with us. We ain't gonna fuck with you. Now, of course, when they got incarcerated, they already knew what time it was. Everybody knew what time it was. It was time to get down for the crown, right? So Heavy was the head that wore that crown, and everybody was trying to wear it. So there was a lot of fights, a lot of things going on. But on the calles, the Sureños didn't play like that, man. They had too much barrio warfare to worry about some vato from up north, you know what I mean? They were like, them vatos are just up there fucking picking grapes. Charlie, homes. We did cut a bunch though. You know, we're doing our thing, and they were doing theirs. You know, like I said, we always knew that's the way we were laced up, forever forward with our stride. These were the enemies, these were the oppositions, and they were always raised to care about their barrio and worry about their barrio first and foremost and have pride, you know, and love for their hoods, and that's how they did it. Now, I will say, like I said, innovators of the estilo, of the style, the Chicano style. So they stand out amongst all. You know a Sureño when you see one. If you don't, Sasuke, you done bumped your head and you're from Neptune, vato. Because here on Earth, in Califas, especially on the West Coast, the best coast, you already know how we do it, man. You better wear your best clothes. This is some real shit. Everybody knows a Sureño when they see one. They have that style. And I'm not trying to fucking judge a book by its cover and say that they ain't got braids and they ain't got gold ones in their mouth, because nowadays everybody is different. But I will say that bald style, taqueated all down on your head, size get bands, size 50s, getting their issue on, you know when you see a Sureño, I don't give a fuck what you say. So he's either from 18th Street, okay? To what degree of 18th Street it is, I can't call it like an alcoholic, but I will say, you know what I mean? Fill it up and let it style. He's either from MS or he's just a straight up Southsider. You know what I mean? Probably from El Monte Flores or something. You could just tell, Holmes. And shout out and respects to all them real barrios down there. Yes, I had the privilege to do time in the youth authority with a lot of these vatos, and my head's like a CD-ROM. Once it's downloaded, it's in there. And I got a lot of respect for all them valleros, man. All them vatos from the San Fernando Valley, from the San Gabriel Valley, from the Sol Valley, Imperial Valley, just all the different areas, Inland Empire, stand up, you know, man, it's nothing but love and respect, bang, bang for the IE, San Bernardino County, all that, Riverside, I got love, okay? And I know a lot of audios, and I trip people out. You know, when I first started Gunners Collective, my channel, and I started talking about certain audios down south, people were like, how the fuck does this about to know about my hood, right? I know, I might not never been there, I might not never struggled and strived through there, so it's got pop, I won't never go there, right? But at the end of the day, I know because a lot of your homeboys laced me up and told me, you know. I've had conversations with real Southsiders, real Sureños, where we've sat down, actually, man, and chopped it up, you know, on a respect level. Know your enemies, keep them close. You know what I mean? That's how it was. Nowadays, nobody's my enemy, man, besides people that jock me and don't like me because my print is very extensive and large. You know, double XL, man, heavy as the man. Where's that, right? Bang, bang. Sorry, it's what it is. But I got love for the Southsides, man. Got respect. And at the end of the day, that's what it's going to always be, man. Because what they've been doing and when they were established and being an army like they are, you have nothing but to respect them. What else can you do? Now, of course, they've always had numbers. You know, when you think with numbers, it's thinned out. Oh, they're so deep, they just take anybody in. Chile, man. It's deep because the cities are congested. There's a lot of cities that are congested together. You got Mexico that's right there bordering San Diego, so they come right over. And so that's a big Latino influence. It's got a lot of different areas, man, that are heavily influenced with Mexicano flavor, man. You got East Los, very well known. Old barrios like White Fence, Evergreen. You know what I mean? You got all the Maravillas, respect to them, all those 18, Florencia, Clanton. And then you go to the Valle, you know, the Sharkies, Pomona 12th Street, you know what I mean? You got Cherry, you got fucking barrio after barrio, you know, the Vineland boys, the Montiflores, the Hayes boys, you know what I mean? You got fucking just, and the list can go on and on. Hazard, stand up, Boyo Heights, sabes que para no ser barrio, despensa la tira. But you know what I'm talking about, man. It's respect and the guns knowing. So when it comes to the Sureño style and how they move in Califas, a very prominent group, a very well-respected group, and a group that ain't going nowhere, homes, anytime soon. Now, of course, with what's going on nowadays, where you have North and South, and an end of hostilities and people actually functioning on the yards simultaneously side by side, maybe not in a capacity of eating a sopa together, but having a truce, man, where there's no body warfare, there's no gang warfare. It's something I never, ever, 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 ever thought I was gonna see. Okay, but it's happening, and it's, oh, what a difference a day makes. I'm very happy that I'm seeing that. Okay, because to think of what I went through, the hardships that I endured, man, just the sangre por sangre, vato, you know what I mean? So it's good. Like Miklo, what I went through, no one could ever duplicate that. Now, I know a lot of people have went through worse shit than me, and maybe some not as necessarily as worse, but the shit that I went through myself, me being a person, the gun, bang, bang, I can tell you, bro, that I never, ever in my wildest dreams thought that this was ever going to be possible or would ever happen. So to the big homies that made it happen, man, kudos and respect to you vatos. Nothing but respects to the utmost, man, because you guys deserve everything. The foundation you set, everything is what it is. Now, for the people that are sitting out there and they're like, Gun, all you're talking about is gang stuff. Why don't you help the youth do better? Well, guess what? If you knew better, you do better. And I'm here to teach you how to do better. The way to do better is to listen to the hardships that people like me and the struggles and the strife that people like me have went through and grasp this. See, I'm just a man. Okay, I'm just my own man. And at the end of the day, bro, I can't sit here and tell you which way to go. Hey, go left, homie. Not Charlie, because last time we went, there was nothing there but two winos and a piruja. And she didn't even look that good. And she felt better than she looked. You know what I mean? I can't give you the game. You know, all I can do is tell you what I know. And you pick and choose the diamonds that you want from that and utilize them and form and plot your own plan. Formulate your own plot plan, homes. You know, I want you, of course, to be a better person. I want you to not have to go through the hardships and the things that I went through. Sasuke, it sucks at night when you're in the oil and you ain't got no money on your books and no one to call for it. It sucks when you're there, homes, and your fucking underarm pits stink and you ain't got no deodorante. Guess what? You ain't getting no deodorant anytime soon because no one's sending you feria because your hand is like this, doing her thing over there with some big fucking Africano named Tyrone. You know what I mean? And she can call on Tyrone and believe she will. You know, on 55th Street, she will. And that's just the way it is. Okay, that's hardships in life. But I hope that everybody goes out there and they listen to these channels, man. They take their jewels, they take their diamonds, and they grasp them, they run with them, man, and they realize, man, this ain't for me, you know? And if it is, get your strive on, homie. You know what I mean? I did. Bang, bang. I ain't mad at you. At the end of the day, man, those are the three prominent groups in Califas. You have the Norteños, A1 from day one. You already know what it is, man. Got nothing but love and respect. That shit will never stop till the bodies drop. Bulldogs, respects, bro. How can you not respect vatos? You better watch out for them. They'll fuck around and bite you in your nalgas. And then, of course, you have the Sureños, tradition, historia, righteousness, realism. Vatos are not to be slept on, man. They're about their business. You try to take it from them, pedazo time. They'll take something from you. You know, at the end of the day, man, California is a very well-known state. One of the most vicious and treacherous states. Now, there's several other states out there that got their own gangs. You know, we're going to speak on a lot of them, man. We're going to be doing something soon on the Trinitarios, the New York City. We got a lot coming, man, on Chicago, stand up, Detroit. You know what it is. Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, including the pedazos. And I've talked about certain groups out of there, and we got more coming. And every group in between time, in the meantime, we're going to speak on, man, and I'm going to give you my opinion on what's going on. But at the end of the day, man, Khalifa, stand up, born and raised. You know what it is, man. 209's most vicious. Nothing but love from the Valle on to the Bay, and on down south. It's respect, man, and motherfuckers better not sleep on these groups, because I'm saying they're coming to a theater near you, now playing the gun, right? So trip out. I hope that you move fast with a purpose. Hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. I hope that you go out today, this very day, man, go out there and struggle and strive for your people, for the raza, for your gente, for whatever your people are, man. Go out there and strive. Remember, ain't no one gonna do it for you. I remember at them cold nights when I was like, damn, I ain't got a sopita to my name, but now I got a lot of sopas. So I got a case of chili right now with my name written all over it. It's written all over my case. We don't have to say your word. I'm gonna put my fucking grub on. Anyways, with that being said, man, hit that like and subscribe. If you don't like this, it's cool to hit a thumbs down. It all works. It all pays. It's all good in the hood. You know what it is, man. At the end of the day, man, I wish nothing but prosperity to all these other channels out there struggling just like I am. You know what it is, man. The gun doesn't hate no one. I'm for the people, by the people. Bang, bang.